Since the beginning of toy train production in the late 19th century, modelers and operators have faced the perpetual challenge of how to quickly and inexpensively fill in the open holes that represent windows on our models. This is Mike with another episode of Toy Train Tips and Tricks, and today I have a new and very inexpensive way to add realistic-looking windows, windshields, number boards, and headlight lamps to virtually any model. Let's take a look. While many higher-priced and well-detailed locomotives cabooses come complete with clear window inserts, many lower-priced models have these details omitted as a cost savings. Or, as in the case of my Penn Central F3 shell, a previous owner removed and misplaced the original window casting. I could search the web for a replacement windshield, but post-war parts are getting harder to find and more expensive to acquire. Or I could simply leave the opening as is and say the glass is so clean it seems to disappear. One tried and true method used by many hobbyists is to cut acrylic sheets and glue them to the inside of models to represent windows. This works well, but shapes like the compound curves of EMD E and F models can make it difficult to cut and mount these sheets. Also, some acrylic materials tend to yellow with age, producing an unsatisfactory effect. Plus, to me anyway, it always looks like the window pane is behind the opening rather than inside it. Some hobbyists go even simpler, using a simple clear Scotch tape. The tape can be applied over the windows, then trimmed, or can be placed behind the openings, adhesive side out. The two disadvantages I have found with this method are: first, the tape application can be very fragile and easily bumped out of place. And second, over time, the adhesive invariably picks up the dust and dirt from the layout room and eventually needs to be replaced. Then there are liquid windows. Two products that are commonly used by HO and N-scale modelers are Testor's Clear Part Cement and Microscale's Micro Crystal Clear. These products were developed to invisibly glue clear parts together, such as airplane canopies, but it was soon discovered that, with a little encouragement, these products could also be used to create small, clear glass windows, up to 1/4 inch across. I have found these products work equally well for windows. The Crystal Clear is a little thicker, as it is a PVA cement similar to Elmer's glue. Use a toothpick to apply the glue to the perimeter of your window, then reapply a generous amount to the toothpick and pull the material into the center void. It takes some practice, but after a while you can get the material to cross over the gap and make a bubble of sorts. When it dries, a shiny, clear pane of artificial glass is left behind. But most O-scale windows are larger, often much larger than 1/4 inch. So how can this be made to work? My method is to combine the tape and the liquid to make a double pane window of sorts. The window is still clear, but the liquid window covers the adhesive, preventing the buildup of dirt and dust. First, a note about the tape. Scotch makes two basic varieties, transparent and invisible. But don't these two words mean the same thing? Well, no, they don't. Invisible tape, the green label, has a matte finish so that when it is applied to standard white paper, the tape matches the finish of the paper and becomes invisible. This should only be used to represent dirty windows or when you desire a more translucent effect for interior illumination. Transparent tape, the red label, on the other hand, is totally clear, but glossy. Because of its high sheen, it is detectable on paper, and its high reflectivity is obvious when documents are copied or scanned. But it makes a very shiny window pane. I apply a strip of tape to the inside of the model, covering the window openings. Any extra can be cut away with a razor knife later. But be careful, as the clear shiny tape will show off any imperfections, such as fingerprints. If you find dirt or fingerprints on the tape, tear off another piece and reapply. It's cheap. Also, try to attach the tape flush with the window perimeters. Do not push the middle of the tape into the window openings, as that will leave a visible impression on the finished product. Once the tape is in place, it's time for the liquid window material. Instead of a toothpick, I have found a small paintbrush to be ideal here. You only need enough of the liquid glass to cover the adhesive on the tape and to make a smooth surface across the entire face of the window. Don't use too much. A thick coat will take longer to dry and may develop imperfections. Allow the product to dry overnight, and voila! A durable, shiny, clear glass window. If you need to redo your project, the microcrystal clear is water-soluble, and the testers dissolves quickly with acetone. But wait, there's more! As I considered the microscale crystal clean and how it is a PVA cement, I began to think about other adhesives that are similar to Elmer's School Glue. After all, the testers in microscale products can cost $5 to $10 per ounce. Isn't there a cheaper option? A quick jaunt down the craft supply aisle at Walmart led me to this, Elmer's Clear School Glue at $1.99 per bottle. Would this work? I prepped my nickel plate caboose with the red label tape, added some glue with a small Q-tip, and let it dry overnight. In the morning, beautiful. It looks just like the crystal clear windows on the NW2 switcher. The only imperfections I discovered were a few air bubbles, probably caused by putting it on too thick. So I taped the rest of the windows and applied a coat to the remaining windows, this time with a brush. This time, not only were the bubbles gone and a smooth finish left behind, but the thinner layer dried faster too, in about 3 hours. I figured that a roll of tape and a bottle of glue, about $5 total investment, will be enough to add windows to every locomotive and caboose on my roster. I have a busy winter ahead of me. Now, as I rotate my roster for cleaning and lubrication, I can add windows at the same time. What do you think? Am I missing an easier or cheaper method? Am I overlooking something? Leave a comment if you have a thought, and meanwhile, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with your friends and neighbors. This week's episode is a little shorter than normal so that my father and I can pursue Union Pacific Big Boy number 4014 across Illinois. Check the community tab for updates and photos, and I hope to post the video of our trip on my companion channel, the Locomaniac channel. Until then, close the windows and keep the trains running, and we'll catch you next time with more toy train tips and tricks.